Today, I'd like to talk a tiny little bit about carbon capture technology. It's really hard to say. I've got some trees to plant. So this is a stave of elder that a friend gave me, and actually I've got quite a few to put in. And he tells me that all I need to do is to shove it into the ground and it's going to grow. So let's test that hypothesis. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about carbon capture technology and why is it even a thing? Well, let's first of all look at what carbon capture technology is. Either you have a chimney and you put a scrubber on it and it separates out the carbon dioxide from other inert gases, and then it's compressed and stored in caverns, or you create a large device, a plant of some description, a mechanical plant, to extract directly from the air the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide doesn't really have a liquid state, it goes straight from a solid to a gas, and I'm assuming that it's in the solid state when it's shoved underground. Now, why do these things even exist? I can sort of get the idea why you would want to scrub a chimney, so that you are literally not giving out any pollution at all, but sucking it out of the atmosphere using a very expensive plant. I'm not sure that we don't already have something that does the job better. Trees. So why are people investing in this technology and not planting trees? I think since childhood we've been told that they are cutting down the Amazon rainforests in multiples of whales per year. The country, not the wonderful animal. And of course it's then given over to slash and burn agriculture, which not only reduces the fertility of the soil and puts a hell of a lot of stuff into the atmosphere, but it also degrades the area so much that it can't be used. After a while, nothing will grow. It becomes a wasteland, and that's not great for the environment. But why aren't we planting trees? Well, I think that it comes to the question of the return on capital. Specifically, how fast do you actually get a return on your capital? If you grow a tree, as I'm absolutely sure you're aware, it's going to take 50, 100 more years to grow. Even if I was to plant it completely out with trees, I would be unlikely to have a saleable product, whether it's timber, firewood, whatever, in my lifetime. I'd be doing it for the next generation. And I think historically that's probably where people have gone and what they've done. We need to examine why would you have a mechanical tree doing the same job, except it's not actually producing a useful product, it's just taking the gas out of the air. Well, I think it comes down to one simple factor, and that is cash, and specifically subsidies. Because you can receive, generous subsidies for investing in green technology. And the question that then needs to be posed: is this technology entirely reliant on subsidy? Because if it was self-supporting, people would be doing it anyway. Are people pocketing the money from the subsidies and making what could loosely be called a quick buck, rather than thinking long-term and doing what we're about to do and plant trees? So I always like to dig a nice deep hole when I'm planting a new tree, and this one is already filling up with water, so I've got to be relatively quick. But walnuts like water, and they should be fine on this little terrace. They'll be shielded from the hottest part of the day's sun. So there we go, a delightful little tree planted. My own little carbon capture device. actually managed to say at that time. That should be growing and absorbing carbon for very, very many years to come. And with any luck, it'll be here long after I'm not. So I guess a question that I'd like to ask is whether a business model that is predicated on, that relies on subsidy, is something that could be held to be sustainable. We do see that government projects almost always come with a very hefty price tag and incentives. We really should perhaps be asking the government, is the model that you are trying to sell us here one that is sustainable, or one that is enriching your friends? Now, it shouldn't be too wet for it. I've seen them literally growing in the middle of streams before. So I'm not trying to be flippant when I pose the question about carbon capture technology. I honestly do want to hear what you think. Should we be planting trees? And if you've done it yourself, let me know. Should we be doing both? Is it worth the investment in the green technology because it will mean jobs? And certainly in the short term. What about the long term? Do we think that storing CO2 in caverns underground is a sustainable way forward? I suppose we're talking about old mines and other such things. Maybe we're just paying it back. I'm sure you probably are aware that cows have a different system of digestion than we do. We have basically acid that breaks everything down and off it goes. We've got a fairly simple gut by comparison. Ruminants actually use bacteria to break down the food, the cellulose that we cannot digest, which is found in grass, which of course we think of as being their main food. Well, I saw this video from this chap. He's obviously knows his stuff. He's a farmer, a beef farmer, and he was actually explaining that if you have 10 molecules of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and you take those 10 molecules and you put it into grass, and this is the carbon cycle in action. You put those 10 molecules into grass, the cow eats the grass. The cow, of course, is breathing, and it's going to be breathing out 1, 2 molecules. It's going to be putting into cow, into beef, into building itself up, making its body work. And the other 7, it's actually going to burp out. And this is where we're told that it is a massive environmental problem. And why I'm mentioning it here is because it comes in timescales. Plant a tree, 50, 100 years, you've got a tree. Cow maybe lives 5, 7, 10 years. But what it burps out, it's not carbon dioxide, it's actually methane. And methane is a gas which is reputed to be much more powerful in its greenhouse effect. But methane breaks down over the course of the next 7 years into carbon dioxide. So those 10 molecules that were taken out of the air, put into the grass, put into the cow, burped and farted and everything out by the cow, after 7 years, the cycle is complete. It's back in the air it can be reabsorbed by the plants, and it can be eaten by another cow. Just some food for thought. I thank you very much indeed for watching. Thank you for listening to my rants. Put your comments down below. I think in this rather crazy world, whether you agree with me or not, we must continue to find common ground. We must agree that we don't know everything. And with that thought, have an excellent day, whatever you're doing.